Hey everybody, my name is James Lyons. Today I'm going to be just talking about a relatively short message today. Today I'm going to be talking about how the Lord should be your foundation for everything. So I remember in a particular moment, it wasn't like yesterday, it was actually this Tuesday. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was praying to the Lord, I was worshiping, and I was debating on whatever to talk about during my Bible study for Tuesday, right? Because I usually lead the Friday Bible study, and Tuesday, I guess, is just like a little prayer. We'll, talk about one or two verses, and the Lord had mentioned something to me about foundation. So he mentioned two verses, which was, first of all, one of them was Psalm 127, and the other one was Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. Because I literally looked up foundation. He just brought the word out to me. And I found this, and it made me really think. And it says here in Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, that in that day he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord will be your treasure. In that day, he'll be your sure foundation, which means Christ is going to be your foundation for everything, right? It's not going to be on you, providing a rich store of salvation. Which basically means like he's prophesying the fact that Jesus being our foundation, he'll be our source of foundation, wisdom, and knowledge. The fear of the Lord will be the treasure. So fearing God, not necessarily being like afraid of him, just more so like respecting his authority kind of fear. You feel me? Like kind of like you're not like scared to death of your father, right? But you do fear his authority to a certain extent. And that's why you typically don't disobey him, is because you also love your father. But that's basically what fearing God is. Because when you fear the Lord, you know what he can do. You know his authority, you know his power, you know all the things that he did for you. You don't want to disobey him. That's what it means to fear the Lord. And it says that God will be your foundation. And let me go ahead and look on Psalms 127. I am almost there. Proverbs. First comes Psalms, and then it's Proverbs. I think it's Psalms 127. I will find it, my boy. I'm on Psalms. Okay. Verse 1. Unless the Lord builds a house, the workers of the builders is wasted. Unless the Lord protects a city, guarding it with sentries will do no good. It is unless for you to work so hard from early morning until late at night, anxiously working for food to eat, for God gives rest to his loved ones. So that really shows like right there the fact that we often try to rely on our own strength, and we often try to rely on the fact that we can earn our salvation. And that's not true. We shouldn't try to rely on our own works for salvation. Because it says in the Bible that our works are rubbish to God. So what we need to do is really take foundation in him and realize like it's only because of Jesus' death that we are really saved. And when you realize that Jesus like died for you, and that really sinks in the fact like all he's done for you, and you really start talking with him, start praying with him, you'll start to build a relationship with him. And the moment you start building a relationship with him, your mind will be transformed and your heart will be transformed to where like you'll automatically start to do good things because God will start working through you in a sense. And I know I talk about this topic quite a bit on the channel because that's primarily the message that the Bible is teaching here. In many different passages, it talks about it. quite a bit. I mean, all it like brings it up all the way in Genesis. It starts bringing it up, and I think it was Genesis chapter 15 or 16. It was Abraham. God was telling Abraham everything he was going to do for him, and God said because Abraham had believed everything he had told him, he was counted as righteous. He wasn't counted as a righteous man because of the works Abraham did, because Abraham made many mistakes. But Abraham had faith in the Lord and, apologized and obviously repented for it. And that's the reason why he was so ill with the Lord, is because he just believed in his heart. And that's what we should do. We should believe everything that the Lord tells us in our heart. And we should give our whole heart to him, because it says the two greatest commandments in the Bible are simply to, 1, love God with all of your heart, mind, body, and soul. And 2, love your neighbor as yourself, which is the greatest commandment. Because when you love others, when you care for others, it shows the love of God. So we must love people. We must love one another. And we should also love God with our mind, heart, body, and soul. That's really all we have to do, y'all. And it says, through those 2 commandments, Jesus said that would fulfill the entire law. So the whole purpose of God's law, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but the whole purpose of God's law, something that I've been learning through indulging more in the Old Testament, is the fact that the whole purpose of God's law, one of the many purposes, was to show God's people of Israel their high cost of sin. And the fact that it was also to set them apart. Okay, God's law had many different purposes, but one of them was to kind of show them like the high cost of sin, and that's why they had to do so many like sacrifices, things like that, sacrifice so many like animals and things like that. And another one was to also set God's people apart. That was also another purpose of God's law, because oftentimes, especially since I've been reading over in Leviticus, it talks about holiness, and the definition of holiness is to be set apart. So something that's set apart from something is considered holy. It's considered sacred. So God's sacred, holy law are basically laws that separate the Israelites apart from the rest of the population, because God wanted the Israelites to be set apart from the rest of the world, because they were his children, right? They were God's children. And God does the same thing with us. When he's a little bit tough on us, when he's a little bit tougher on us, he's setting us apart. So the thing is, it's like, just rely on Christ as your firm foundation, and everything will be okay. I know I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but once I start mentioning a topic of the Bible, I kind of start going a little bit crazy with it. But the whole purpose is just to really rely on Christ as your foundation for salvation and wisdom and things like that, and God will start working through you in that regard. And it's really incredible the number of things God will do for you, because Christianity often likes to be compared to a religion, but in reality it's a relationship. You feel me? It's a relationship. And anyone that's willing to let him in, Christ will come in your life if you're just willing. You don't have to be a Jew. You don't have to be a Gentile. You just need to be a man looking for God, because I've heard, things like, oh, God is only merciful towards the Jews or whatever. That's not true. Because even I can date it back all the way in Exodus, where I read a part where when God was explaining to the Hebrews, to the Israelites, the fact that, or what to do like during Passover or whatever, God literally had said the fact that people from other nations can join and attend these Passovers, as long as they were circumcised. So like they could join as well. So they could be engrafted into the community as well. And that's what God does with us. He engrafts us, so we become the people of Israel. In a nutshell, like he engrafts us because we are his children. So God never really he never has any direct children, but he can engraft us. And that's why it's also so important to build a relationship with God, like individually, because the thing is, it's like God might bless generations, right? But you have to actually build a relationship with God in order to receive salvation. You have to actually rely on his foundation in order to receive salvation, because God doesn't have direct descendants, because he's God, obviously, right? He doesn't have any direct descendants. So we need to actually build a relationship with God in an individual level. And that's what Jacob had to do. I could just go on and on. So that's just something engaging in this Old Testament here and been finding meaning, how it applies to the New Testament. It's so cool. Because it's like God's laws and everything, like in the Old Testament, basically revealed everything Christ was going to do when he came to earth. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am? I gotta be a bit quieter, y'all. My mom's been working real hard all day, but yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Honor father, mother, guys. I love you too. I love you too. You've been working hard today. Do you need anything? No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love you. Let me know if you need anything. Let me know if you need anything. Oh. Oh. I'm okay. I'm recording a YouTube video right now. I'm recording a YouTube video. That's why I'm being kind of loud. No, it's quite alright. No, you didn't ruin nothing. I was just reaching the conclusion anyway. Ain't it a big deal? No, it's okay. It's okay. I love my mom. What? Yes, ma'am. It's okay. Honor your father and mother, guys. It's a very important thing. It's another great commandment in the Bible. It's to respect your parents, but like, it goes more than obviously just respecting your parents. It also goes into respecting authority. It's a really big deal. You know, we really should honor our parents and spend time with them. You know, I mean, sometimes I have a habit of getting angry at my mom, but like, we shouldn't do that, because in reality, like, our parents, they do a lot for us, and we should be grateful for them, not just because like they simply do things for us. It's just because it's like they brought us into this world, and you know, God created us, and you know, we should have high respect for our parents and our relatives and things like that. Do whatever they ask us to do. But yeah, basically that's the point of the video, y'all, is to you know, have a firm foundation with Christ and rely on him as your foundation. And let me know if like y'all seriously need any questions. I'm not really sure where to end it off. I'm just letting the Spirit talk, because you know, I wanted to mention this message, and I would like to pray us out. Dear Lord, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've truly done for us, Lord. Gracious God, I pray that you guide us, Lord, to really rely on you for our firm foundation, Lord, and to really cling on to you when things get tough. And I understand battling temptations can be tough, but every time we're faced with temptation, we can just rely on you, Lord. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.